Heteronormativity in language and language education is a topic often overlooked but of extreme importance. First, let's take a look at exactly what heteronormativity is. Heteronormativity is the privileging of heterosexuality that results in social pressures to fulfill and conform to heterosexual roles. Some examples of heteronormativity within schools is the way in which sports are segregated because of biological sex. Another example is the way in which bathrooms aren't safe for all individuals to enter. Heteronormativity can also be seen in the small choices teachers make in their curriculum to reinforce heterosexuality. Now that we have looked at what heteronormativity is and examples of it within the classroom, let's discuss how we can work to avoid adding to this narrative. Cynthia Nelson wrote about queer inquiry as a way for teachers to actively work against heteronormativity in language education. The first step of this is purposeful inclusion of queer identities, in-depth exploration of sexual identities in different cultures, and how they are not only expressed but understood, encouraging students to question and be aware of heteronormativity, and provide different representations within media of LGBTQ identities. Many people have argued these ideas as wrong for different reasons. Let's take a closer look. The two main oppositions to LGBTQ inclusive education throughout all subjects is that the population within the school is not large enough to spend valuable class time addressing these issues. The next opposition is that there are simply not enough resources to do so effectively, so teachers should just ignore it as an issue within their classrooms. Although these sound like valid reasons, you might be thinking, why is this important to be aware of and work against within our classrooms? Specifically, why does it need to be included in language education? Heteronormativity needs to stop reoccurring within our classrooms because 20% of students in classrooms today identify as LGBTQ. Not only this, but if those students don't feel safe in the school and class they are a part of, they aren't going to be receiving the same education other students might be. This is because of the way your mental health plays a big role in your ability to learn. Learning is impossible if students feel unsafe and unwelcome in a heteronormative classroom environment. People have already advocated for, some successfully, new words that create space for all individuals rather than just heterosexual identifying individuals. Some examples of this include Latinx instead of the masculine and feminine versions, Latino and Latina. The singular they instead of he or she for those who might identify as non-binary. Todes instead of todos and todas. And MX instead of Mr. or Miss. In conclusion, heteronormativity in language and language education are extremely detrimental to student learning because of the way in which it causes students to feel isolated and unsafe. The other big takeaway is that the best way to address heteronormativity in the classroom is to not let it go unnoticed by applying Nelson's queer inquiry within the classroom teaching practice, especially within language education.